Hello, everyone. Welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We have a full house tonight, bringing you Transformers news from around the world and across Australia. This is episode 265. We are recording live on Friday, November the 11th, 2022. And if you are listening to this a week later via a podcast app, stop it now. Head over to YouTube, where this channel where we produce this podcast live. I've fluffed it already in the opening line. And you can join the Transformers Collectors Club Australia Facebook group, where we also stream live during the recordings. This week's episode, we will be discussing the first Rise of the Beasts toy that appears to have appeared. We'll check in on Haslab's Deathsaurus crowdfund progress. And some of us have seen episode 1 of Transformers Earthspark. So we'll have a bit of a chat about that. All that and more is coming up after this. I've got so many choices of people that I want to introduce this episode who all have speaking roles, and Brad is doing something. It's 30
He's crossing his chest and praying.
Yeah, no, it's 30 seconds into the show, and Brad's already doing. I believe it's yes. Sorry, I'm being told it's the Macarena. Yes. Brad is joining us live tonight for this episode, mate. How are you doing? It's been a long time. Brad's
Nice.
Brad's showing off that he actually has a Matrix with working batteries installed. If you remember our saga at Oz Comic Con, Mikey.
No, he's showing off that he's the true Prime.
Yeah.
After 42 car washes, the wax still beads. That's still going 6 years on. There's some good batteries in that thing.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I think our batteries died on day one of Oz Comic Con, didn't they?
Oh no,
it
we
was
went
loose.
out. We went out and got new batteries specifically for it, and then they periodically worked. So actual people that came past who actually open it and get the light, they actually had the touch. So not everyone had the touch today. It was a very discriminatory Matrix.
That is hit and miss.
I mean, the Matrix is well known to be pretty picky about who it thinks has the touch.
I think it's all in the fingers.
It's the finger
past
holes,
experience,
basically.
Yeah.
Traveling
It's all
on
about
from
how
that,
you use
Max,
it.
how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm sort of vaguely out of it. Just got back, just made a 4-hour drive back from work in the Mallee. So kind of, just returned to civilization after being completely disconnected from most of any of this sort of stuff for a week. But it's a nice way to snap back into things.
Max has returned to civilization, sat down, and decided to do a live stream with us, everyone. So please do make him feel welcome and thank him for his dedication. And of course, Mikey, how are you doing there, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. It was funny just before tonight. I was peer pressured into going out and getting Korean fried chicken. I'm just like, I've got a podcast on tonight. Just like, yeah, it'll be quick. You'll be able to come back. So I literally got home from work, went back out, had Korean fried chicken, got home just in time to do this. So
Very good.
yeah, so it ended up being a pretty good night. Korean fried chicken, top quality
Korean
stuff.
fried chicken, Transformers, and work. Oh, maybe not necessarily in that order. But, yeah.
Not the best combo, but a good enough.
No, it's fair enough. So, gentlemen, it has been a couple of weeks since we've been on doing a live show. What has happened in the meantime? What have you been up to? In fact, I say a couple of weeks, but Brad, it's been several months, I think, since we've had you on. Like, how about we start with yourself, good sir? What's been going on?
Well, I'm once again in the bunker. Sorry for the lighting. Trying to evade the monstrous mosquitoes that are currently inhabiting the area due to all the floodwaters.
Can you not ward them off with any of the fine fragrances from the cabinet behind you?
I have this fine fragrance right here, the good old Mortine. I gave it a good old squirt under the bench here before, thinking I'd get them, and 2 big redback spiders dropped down on the ground. So I'm going to be ducking my head down, looking at the ground for the next few hours. But
Brad might flee the room, screaming. Just in case. Yeah, just be careful. Like if something actually does land on your leg, just calmly get up and move away. You know. Yeah, it'll be a thud of the disc.
That's going to go ass over it. There'll be benches going everywhere.
This is uniquely Australian podcast content where we are talking about Transformers with a hint of redback spiders. Usually with Transformers, it's tarantulas.
Unless someone's got a black arachnia in their possession at the moment.
Is she on the desk? She's not.
There's some dire times at the moment, but need to come on, talk about Transformers, be happy, and keep the spirits up.
Very good, very good. Max, how about yourself? You said you've been out of contact with civilization for the last week or so.
Yeah, and then I'm about to disappear off for another month again, so it's just
that's actually just Max taking shelter from the looming Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey.
I'm working out on Cowpram Station in South Australian Mallee, so yeah, that's just what I've been doing for in my PhD research at the moment. So basically getting a very long way away from any sort of Transformers-y content. So nice to actually nice to actually get back and just get back into the swing of things. Sorry, in case you couldn't tell, I'm incredibly bloody tired.
It's nice to immerse yourself back in the world.
Yeah, also haven't slept enough, so at the very least you got 4 people. So when I inevitably start slurring my speech, as I just did, and I can have people filling the void because I've not slept much at all.
Fair enough too. Mikey,
I'm not going to guarantee I'll
enough?
still be awake by the end either.
Would have been the first time.
Yeah, look, we accept that risk every week. But yes, Mikey, have you had enough sleep?
Oh, you know me, I always get my sleep, Jason. But yeah, look, I've had a really good time.
That didn't sound creepy at all. It was good. Yeah, it was very good.
Straight to the point.
He gets his sleep. Who stands in his way?
Honestly, do not get in between me and my sleep. You will regret it. I actually had some very good personal news today. I got accepted into Western Sydney University for teaching, for the teaching course that I was going for, and it was my first preference, and I got in, and I got
fantastic
today. So
congratulations!
Pretty happy. Yeah, thanks, guys. So really good day today, and other than that, just working. Haven't really purchased many Transformers recently, as can be told later, as I have no acquisitions.
Yeah, we often go week to week, and it's like I'll have one bot here and there. I've got a desk full of stuff for acquisitions tonight, so like,
well, you can make up for it.
Yeah, we can have at it with that when the time comes.
Yeah.
What do you think? Without any further ado, I think we should probably get into some news.
Oh, did anyone ask Jason what he was up to?
It's pretty. Everyone knows what I'm up to because I post pictures of Transformers in the Facebook group all week. So it's been pretty straightforward for me. Just working and a little bit of playing. So yeah,
beautiful.
I think it's time we welcome everyone in the chat room as well. Our live viewers. We've got a few people.
Look at all
a few people chatting along. Brad, you'll be happy. Mark is on board with your hatred of Redback, saying, quoting the classic indie line about him hating snakes. We can see Robin there as well, and a couple of nameless Facebook users. But
so sure you guys can make yourself known because we don't know who you are.
Sign in.
Yes, remember to give our StreamYard app permission to access your names. Anywho, we are going to move on with some news because we have been blathering for a short amount of time, which means bringing in the screen share, the news screen share. And speaking of the spirit of Christmas, I would say the spirit of Mariah Carey is strong in this one. It might even be a case of when you open up the trailer, she might pop out. And what's the game where you try not to hear her song for Christmas or something, but it's all I don't want for Christmas or something? It is Holiday Optimus Prime. There is no Mariah Carey involved with this. Just to be clear, it is a brand new Optimus Prime mold. I say brand new. He's a slight reworking of the Earthrise mold. He's been molded into a realistic Volvo truck, and it does appear that this figure used to be the thing that we were considering was going to be the Amazon Prime, Optimus Prime. That partnership appears to have fallen by the wayside, but Hasbro's done something with the license anyway. That is a properly licensed Volvo truck, and I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure someone will put it in the comments shortly. And I'm super impressed with the paint job on this. There's a red Optimus Prime cab. There's some candy stripes on the trailer. There's an Autobot symbol wearing Autobot faction symbol wearing a Santa Claus hat. There's some green highlights on the cab, and the whole thing looks like it's dusted with snow. So like, what is not to love about getting into the holiday, Christmas spirit with holiday Christmas Optimus Prime? I don't know.
It's just they can't call it what they want to call it anyway. It looks good.
They really can't. But like the box, we're looking at photos, which I believe were taken by Sixo at Comic-Con a couple of weeks ago in London. The box has even got a gift tag written into its artwork and looks like it's got wrapping paper on its print. Whoever designed this figure and designed the box and everything, they've had a ball. Like it looks, like I said, it looks fantastic. There's a lot of paint applications on this, and they're very unusual paint applications. Like, it's not just like, painting the arms red or anything. Like, it's actually giving it a fairly realistic sort of snowy look to the cap and the like. And
it looks like something you'd see
nice
in the Christmas pageant. It
yeah,
you know what I mean? It just looks like a bit of Christmas decoration.
It's really bugging me because I think I talked to someone today. It might have been, I can't remember who it was, but they say the trailer reminds them of the KFC packaging.
Yeah,
so it looks like a big KFC trailer.
If the trailer opens up, then like there's a function right there. Like,
fried chicken storage.
That's your play pattern.
Yeah.
The trailer does open up to store your Christmas turkey, I'll say, instead of your KFC. So what I find interesting about this is they have been, like I said, I'm quite a fan of the paint job and the way that they've applied the paint to this. I have been of the opinion that Hasbro's trying to find new ways to apply paint in more places on figures. Like when we saw the Earthrise trailer, this is the Earthrise Prime trailer with a new paint job on it. That thing had very little paint on it. So to see this much on it, to be clear, this is molded in white, and the red paint is applied onto it. So they've applied the red paint, but they've also applied it in such a way that it looks like it's got snow on top of it. So it's quite cute and it's quite deceptive as to how they've done it. I'm quite a fan. I feel like this is something that Hasbro's been trying with some of the Netflix bots from the final wave of Netflix, like with the Sparkless bot. We saw basically an all-over paint job on that. And we also saw a different paint job on the Behold Galvatron last year, where they had basically panel lined it. So I feel like this is a new technique that Hasbro's experimenting with, and we're seeing it come out to play in different places here and there.
How did the Earthrise one have it being grey molded plastic for the trailer? Did it have blue stickers on it, or was that blue paint for the stripe?
I'm pretty sure it didn't actually have a blue on the trailer at all. I think it was only grey.
This it looks like this Paul Volvo is trying to pull a office block or a relocatable school building. It doesn't suit each other at all. I wonder if they just took their money they got from Amazon and said, right, we've got this money, we don't have to do that blue one anymore, so we'll just throw it at this. Are there bot mode images of this?
There should be. We've got some official photos if there's no bot mode images.
There's only one decent, there's one official photo showing a bot mode, and that's it in terms of actual decent quality photos. It's kind of weirdly promoted.
We'll go for it here. There are some stock photos, but so is that the photo that you're thinking of there, Max?
There's a stock photo of that, and it's literally the only decent image of the
I'm pretty sure
it's really strange.
I'm pretty sure this is the same photo. It's just on a different background.
Yeah, it's the same photo, but it's the only one they've released.
So what they've explained that they did with this is that they basically took the Earthrise Optimus Prime and reversed it. So the cab of the truck sort of forms the front of the legs instead. And so yeah, it's an interesting switch to the transformation. But they did say that it is different enough that they consider it to be a new mold, and it will be reused in future. So
Yeah.
a lot of people have looked at this and saw, I think it was Combat Heroes Optimus Prime.
Combat Hero Optimus Prime. Yep.
Yeah, Combat Hero Optimus Prime. And so like we can probably expect that to turn up at some point in the following year.
It's very Combat Hero Optimus Prime. I mean, the legs transform. Well, the legs look like the legs for that figure and that
Yeah,
design.
the cab's
so,
the same general shape.
yeah, it's all the same. So that's we'll get this. I'm guessing. Yeah.
What's this?
so-
$200? What's the price tag on this?
Yeah.
Well,
What is it?
I have excellent news for you. I asked Hasbro Australia if this was coming to Australia, and they said no.
No.
That is good
there
news.
you go.
That's
$500
perfect
on
news.
eBay.
They said no because they said that they couldn't get it to Australia in time for Christmas. Now, to be clear, like this is a really tight time frame on this. They've announced this. This was announced in the last couple of days of October. It's gone up for pre-order on November the 1st, and they're saying that it's going to be delivered to people in the UK and Europe, UK, Europe, and the US sometime in December. Now, I do know that it's coming in Hong Kong in December, but I don't know precisely when. However, since Hasbro told me that they couldn't get it here in time for Christmas, I have noticed that Pop Culture has it up for pre-order. And it's a very reasonable price considering it's a repaint and a special edition of a leader class figure, $110. And Pop Culture will
That
give you
retail.
free shipping for that price as well.
Oh, that's actually really good value. Yeah. Okay.
That's not too bad. That's
Retail.
So
with,
it's
basically
an $89
retail.
figure then.
Yeah,
Well,
so
that's
it's basically retail for a leader class figure. It's on the higher side of that retail, but it is a special edition.
That's just
so-
pop culture. They do that.
A little bit. It is an ETA of March though, so Hasbro's statement that they couldn't get it here in time for Christmas is true, but I think it's also fair to say that people who want this are still going to want it in their collection. I very famously got the last year's Holiday Optimus Prime, the Super 7 reaction figure, and he arrived at some point in I think March or April for me, but whatever.
But that's the problem you have where, yeah, you're not going to get here by Christmas, but this isn't marketed to kids. There's no cartoon. There's nothing. This is purely for adult collectors. Why is Christmas such a deadline? We're going to get to this later with the new Earthspark series. If you have a certain line dedicated to a certain demographic, why do you have to hold the whole lost?
Look, I think
There's no reason why this
holiday-
has to be out by Christmas. Yes, it's Christmas themed, but collectors that want an Optimus Prime want something new. For those 6 people that are Volvo fans, there's a Volvo Optimus Prime. Go for it. But
I think a lot of adult collectors just like silly shit.
oh
You
yeah,
know, they just go for,
that's very true. I've seen
This
some
is
of the dumb
definitely
shit that gets
silly
posted
shit.
in our group. Yes.
yeah.
and I think
But
that's
again,
that's
there's
about the
no
all the
reason
appeal
why.
is.
Yeah, there's no reason why Christmas has to be the deadline for Hasbro. Hasbro could say, right, we can have it by February.
Yeah,
Okay.
but also where show me on that box where it says Christmas. Haha.
Coca-Cola
Yeah.
and that.
Look, can I humbly suggest that this is also not very holiday worthy of Australia because it is a snowy Christmas, right? If you really wanted to do Holiday Optimus Prime for Australia, like he's going to be wearing a pair of budgie smugglers down by the beach.
Be sun
right?
scorched.
Well, the way we're going at the moment, I had the fire going again yesterday, so we're still sort of in the grips of winter in Victoria. It snowed on the Alps last weekend, so there's still snow around.
It's true. It is a little bit crazy, but I am confident that by Christmas we're going to be having sunny days on the beach.
There's a better than that. You can up there, but I don't think we're going to do down here.
David says he'd love to see
I'd love to see
Budgie
Budgie
Smuggler
Smugglers.
Prime. I agree. I reckon a special edition Holiday Optimus Prime with Budgie Smugglers is probably the way to go. Maybe I may even speak to one of the many customizers in our group about doing an Australian Holiday Edition Optimus Prime. We'll see
Yeah,
how
but
we go.
can they do it the base in skin tone? You
Oh,
got to get
mate.
rid of the red.
Oh, mate, there's
Unless
not,
it's-
there's
Couldn't you just go get
Terrifying.
yourself a buzzworthy Dinobot and just slap on some
Yeah.
tiny bone?
Yeah,
Just
just slap on
just
some.
bonus onto that.
At least
Right,
he's already
if-
half human.
Yeah, guys. Officially, the target has changed. It's now Holiday Dinobot. Rob Franklin says the Aussie Optimus would be a Bunnings truck as well. So yes, very very
Oh,
true.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, look. Oh god, to be honest, I'm getting ideas. How
There's a
many
lot.
how many of these things does Pop Culture have on pre-order? Not entirely sure. Switching gears, we'll go back to the London Comic Con as well, because there were 2 products announced that day, and the second one was one that was rumored for a while, which was the black repaint of Perceptor, who is Gen Select's Magnificus. This would be, I believe, probably the 3rd Magnificus figure. There was the original, the E-Hobby black G1 Perceptor. There was the black version of the
Reveal the shield.
yeah, Reveal the Shield Perceptor. You're quite right. And now it's the black edition of the Studio Series 86 mold, making Magnificus. It's a really good Perceptor mold. It'll make a wonderful Magnificus as well. And we've seen it leaked a while ago, so we knew it was coming. And I will tell you all that it is available for pre-order already on Amazon Australia for the princely sum of $45, including postage, and it will make its way to you in mid-February 2023.
That's a good price.
How do you like them apples?
Not bad.
That's not very Christmassy.
No, that was the
Black
last
coal.
product.
Maybe he's the Grinch of this set. So he's Magnificus is the Grinch, and Holiday Optimus Prime has to defeat him.
Maybe true. Very very welcome. I've got the other Magnificuses. Is that what's the plural form of Magnificus?
Magnifici.
Magnifici. That actually rolls off the tongue quite well.
I'm really sorry to have to do this, but that is not true. It's actually Magnificuses. But,
No, it's surely.
No, it's not. No,
it's a
you're
proper noun.
outvoted. No,
Yeah, fair
you're
enough.
outvoted.
You've been outvoted 3-1, Jason. I'm sorry, you're off the island.
Magnificent.
Yes, Magnificus Iron. Yeah. So we're all going to be getting Magnificus Iron, I believe. Is that right? Who's in for Gen Select Magnificus?
A pass for me because he's G1 and I'm not really doing that at the moment. So, but he looks great. Like if I was into it, I think 45 shipped in an Australian setting for an exclusive deluxe is pretty damn good.
Yeah, if you can get onto that, that's pretty good.
I'd jump on this one as soon as possible. Really.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a good deluxe as well.
In fact, I'm not really sure why I haven't already pre-ordered it. So I should really get onto that. So yeah. What are we doing next? So Holiday Optimus Prime, Gen Select's Magnificus. What else has been happening lately that's noteworthy? Oh yes, Victory Saber has started to turn up across Asia. The good old Haslab Victory Saber, the previous crowdfunding success from Haslab, rival to the currently funding Deathsaurus, and to be perfectly honest, something that I'm really looking forward to getting and adding into my collection. So he is starting to turn up. There is an official release in some territories of Asia on December the 1st, and Hasbro is holding to that date, but it does appear that might not apply to all territories, as some people are getting him in hand already. Really interesting to see. We've got where's the pictures here of the box? There's a lot of photos, and in fact, I've chosen the one that doesn't have a photo of the box in it. So, well done to me. But
boxes just down there. Yeah,
there we go. So there's a good look at the box, and we did see the box and the packaging at San Diego Comic Con. So it is nice to sort of have another look at it. These pictures have caused a little bit of controversy in the community, though, because it has emerged from these photos that Victory Saber and all other commands are in fact tied onto their trays with plastic ties.
It's,
Yeah.
well,
So
the other accessories are in a clamshell as well.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
The
not-
the accessories are in a clamshell, and it does really sort of beg the question of why didn't they just put another layer of plastic in this and just do the clamshell instead of tying them in. There have been some stories, although I'm not really sure how much I believe this, but there have been some stories of people opening up their Victory Sabers and finding that the plastic ties have taken some paint off it, but. I don't know. I don't know that the areas where those ties are crossing over are really actually painted that heavily. So I'm not sure if I believe that or if I think it might just be people trying to just stir up a bit of negativity.
I feel like if it was a serious problem, there'd be photos around.
Well, so it's worth remembering that this is something that's been happening in the last 24 hours. Like it's happening now. It's not an official release, but these have found its hasn't been an official release in the territories that I'm monitoring, but it is finding its way into some collectors' hands. Whether it's coming from the warehouse or from some distribution, we don't really know. But as I said, in some of the territories that I look after, or not look after, but keep an eye on, Hasbro's sticking to its December 1st release, so there won't be a lot of people getting them before then. Hasbro's people have said that they want Victory Saber to be in people's hands before the Deathsaurus campaign finishes, and that's, I think it's about the 12th of December, or it might be earlier than that. So it's going to be tight, especially if you're getting them in Asia, but it'll be close.
So seeing these leaks, basically we know that Prime vs. Prime is going to have a review up tomorrow.
I wouldn't say that that's necessarily true, because these are actually fully formed products shipping out from a factory. So these are coming through regular distribution channels. They're not coming from the manufacturer. So yeah, I wouldn't say that this necessarily means that one has found its way to Prime versus Prime.
Fair enough.
But you did say that these are getting their hands into collectors, and we all know collectors don't open their figures; they put them on display in the box. So why are plastic ties an issue, Hasbro?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, whoever's taken these photos managed to undo their plastic ties without doing any damage to the figures. So I'm not really sure whether it's really an issue or if it's just people making a mountain out of a molehill.
It's purely aesthetics. It feels more premium if it's in a clamshell or something.
Look at this.
Mikey needs a moment, everyone.
Oh god, it just looks beautiful. He just looks really good from all these photos.
The question is, did you only order one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not made of money.
Okay.
In fact, I believe when the last time a Victory Saber or a Star Saber came up for pre-order, it was the Masterpiece one, and I think I ordered it live on the podcast.
You did.
So I will have Masterpiece Star Saber and Haslab Victory Saber to put up on the shelves. So I'm just flashing up general photos of the presentation and what we can come to expect of things in the box. Like, we all know what Victory Saber looks like. We're all looking forward to it, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to start shipping from Pulse US and UK in the next couple of weeks, because this happened with the previous Haslab release, Galactus. It came out mid. What month are we? November. Came out mid-October in the US and the UK, and then came out on the 1st of November in Asia. So I think if Asia is sticking to a 1st of December date, I think we're going to start seeing it come out from the US and the UK. So expect to see a lot more in-hand photos coming from people in those territories, I think.
Can someone who has MP Star Saber answer Facebook users' question, is MP Star Saber any good? Now, I've heard very mixed opinions about that figure. I've personally never owned it just because I've never really cared, especially since they didn't release a Victory Leo with it. But to those of you who have an MP Star Saber, what is your opinion of it?
I think MP Star Saber is fine. It is what it is, and it's very much a product of its time and its era. It is quite an old masterpiece now. I think it was MP 21 or 22 or 23 or something. It's very unusual. It's a very unusual masterpiece because it took to the cartoon aesthetic of Victory before the masterpiece line in general really took to the cartoon aesthetic. So in many ways it was ahead of its time, but it also really stands out as a bit of an anachronism for that. It's also the only masterpiece figure from that line. It was the result of a fan vote, and so it is what it is. I think there's a few comments coming through. Dave Bottrell says he loves it. Mark Harris says it's okay. Good. I think he means good shelf presence. So yeah. If you like MP Star Saber, you're perfectly welcome to keep liking MP Star Saber, and this toy will do nothing to dissuade your opinion of that. But it's good for everyone to have options.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and as Mark has pointed out, it's MP24, so I stopped my counting just before the.
You got there.
I nearly got there. A lot of enthusiasm for Victory Saber going around. Rob says he can't wait for this to arrive. I think I speak for the three of us who've got it ordered. I don't think you've got one on order, have you, Brad?
No.
No. I think I speak for the three of us who have it on order, saying like we're all very excited about it.
We are, and I just the thing that I love most about this guy is he's just a fun toy. He's got Star Saber itself is
so many things to
right. So Star Saber itself, it's three guys in one. You've got the little Brain Master, then you got Saber, then you got Star Saber, and then you got his mate who's this flying lion, bizarre thing. And then it turns into a pair of shoes and a jetpack for the already big guy, and
I'm sold already.
It's an insane toy.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. And this is the guy. This is basically Optimus Prime for a lot of fans in I think in Japan. This was
hugely popular.
This was their Optimus
love
Prime.
him.
This is their big guy. This is their big guy that they look up to, and they, that how some English fans say that Optimus Prime is their father figure. There was that type of thing back in the day, especially when they killed him off. This Star Saber would be that type of thing to the Japanese audience and the audience who has seen this guy and maybe not Optimus Prime.
Well, doesn't Star Saber have an adopted human son in the cartoon?
Yeah, I don't know his name though.
There's a bit of projection there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just it looks great. It's really exciting to have such a faithful representation of this guy. And also it's really the first time other than the MP that we actually get people outside of Japan get an opportunity to own a version of Stars, a really good version of Star Saber.
Absolutely.
So, it's this and the MP and the Robot Master. That's it.
True.
For what's such a major character, it just hasn't been touched.
I have the Robot Master as well.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And considering I've never watched Victory as well, maybe I should watch Victory.
I would hazard a guess that most people who've ordered this haven't watched Victory.
You
Mikey,
would be correct.
have you watched it? Yeah,
I've tried.
That's 3 for 3. Yeah. None of us have seen it. It's
fair enough.
Apparently, it's good, but it's I don't know.
All right, having looked in on Victory Saber, it is time for us to look in on his nemesis, which is Deathsaurus, currently funding from Hasbro Pulse. Now, with 31 days left, I believe it was a 45-day campaign. With 31 days left, we are basically 1/3 of the way through the campaign, and we are at 6,100 out of 11,000 backers. The 11,000 backers is the desired level for this to go into production. There are goals for there are sort of stretch goals to get extra pieces with Deathsaurus. What do you guys make of the fact that we're at 6.1k, 1/3 of the way through? Do you think it's going at the sort of the rate and the speed that you expected, or do you think it's lost a bit of steam?
I personally don't believe that they've yet to add other. So I think this is just solely focusing on Haslab pre-orders. I don't think they've added other countries to it. And once they, like they did with Unicron and that, I think once we start to add the other countries, you'll see it go way past 18,000, I think, in my opinion.
I believe Victory Saber did end up going well past 18,000.
Oh, it smashed it. Victory Saber absolutely smashed all of its goals. Yeah. And why would this guy not? Why would all of those, let's say 20,000 people who bought Star Saber, why would they not buy basically the Megatron of that universe in Deathsaurus?
I do know
So-
at least one person who decided that they wanted Victory Saber because it was a one-off, and now that Deathsaurus, they're like, no, man, I'm not interested.
enough.
And I've also seen a lot of people pre-ordering Deathsaurus because they missed the boat on Star Saber.
Yeah,
It's-
we've
it's-
heard a lot
it's
of
true.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of angst from people who are now upset that they didn't get in on Victory Saber, and well, like I understand the upset for it, because I mean at the time you didn't know if it was going to be a one-off or it would be like a line of things. I think with any of these things that come along, like we've learned from Unicron that this stuff comes out and it just immediately appreciates in value. So if you're in a position to back it and pay for it, and we are in a unique position in Australia where we don't actually have to pay for the full price for it until it actually gets released. So like if you're in a position to save up for it, you may as well do it because there's practically no way you're going to lose money on this stuff. When this comes out, I'm pretty sure that I've seen one listing for imports from China that are well into the $400 price range already for this. I think it's very likely that Hasbro's overproduced as well. And I do also know that this is the first Haslab product that will be shipping multiple items in one shipping carton. There's so we've seen the pictures of the box. It's not a huge box. So yeah, there's going to be 4 of them to a single shipping carton. So they can take them out and they'll be individually boxed within those boxes in brown boxes for mailing purposes. So having looked in on Deathsaurus, we have supposed that maybe there's no pre-orders from across Asia figured into this value yet, and I can say that that's at least true for Japan because they've only just launched the pre-orders at Takara Tomy Mall.
Wow. Okay. Now that's a big thing.
That is a big thing. Like it's, I would say that this is a much better effort for putting up pre-orders for this guy than they did for Victory Saber. Victory Saber's pre-orders came really late in the game. We were not quite sure with Victory Saber if they were really trying to fund it themselves without needing support from Japan to do it, or if there was just something to go on timing related. But Deathsaurus is listed for about $203 $204 apparently. So he's a little bit more expensive to get in Japan than the US. The US price is $180 and we should also mention that it is up on EB Games. I think when we first discussed it a couple of episodes ago, it hadn't been listed on EB Games at that point, but it is up now for pre-order in Australia for $370, which is $10 cheaper than Victory Saber, which, considering the way that the Aussie dollar is going, is actually really quite a good deal. We know it's $180 and so it's into the low to the mid 200s when you do the currency conversion, but the currency conversion is trending the wrong way at the moment, and the Aussie dollar is just getting weaker. So pretty soon that might end up being equal. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, as I mentioned, you can back it at EB Games. You can put down a deposit. I think the deposit's about $50, and you can pay it off over time, or you can just keep the money in your account, earn your own interest on it, and then pay it off when it's due late next year. So yeah, Rob mentions he's got a pre-order at EB. Might be smart this time and pay it all off over next year before it arrives. So yeah,
Good idea. But
Get in early and pay it off.
Yeah, I agree. But the fact that Japan hasn't even, put their interest in for this, that's a big market, and that's who this guy is really targeted at. So I think that's going to be like at least 10,000 there alone, I would think.
I hope so. Like, I do remember thinking at the time that Victory Saber went up, like we'll never really know whether or not the Victory Saber reported numbers on Haslab really include all of the pre-orders or not. But I do remember thinking that like they only gave it a very short pre-order window, and I don't think it really bumped the numbers that much.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see.
Facebook user asks, if we put a deposit down, will we still get the figure, or do we need to pay for the entire figure? So it's like you put a deposit down on EB Games, and then they refund it to you if a figure doesn't get funded. So it's dependent on the crowdfunding from the actual Haslab itself, and if that doesn't get fully funded, then they will send you back the $50 refund.
Yeah. I mean, if you put down a deposit, it's a deposit for a pre-order. So in Australia, it's a pre-order. But if the crowdfunding doesn't go up, then you'll get your deposit back.
Last time I checked on eBay, you could still pre-order the Engine of Vengeance. So that's a bit awkward.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it was still up there when I saw it last. It's a bit awkward.
Yeah. The Engine of Vengeance is, of course, the Marvel Legends Haslab campaign that recently, unfortunately, failed.
Failed spectacularly. Spectacularly.
Bum, bum.
Now, since we are talking a little bit about Pulse tonight, I do have a question. I'm gonna put up this YouTube video, but I'm not gonna play it because I can't actually play it and have the audio come through. But if you guys aren't aware of this video, this video is a G.I. Joe Classified series interview from the UK Comic Con recently, and this is a gentleman called Dan Hu, and he's interviewing a woman named Emily from Hasbro. And at this point in the video, which is about 17 minutes in, he asks her about the 2023 exclusivity of the G.I. Joe Classified series line to Hasbro Pulse, which is Hasbro's own dedicated online store for all of their things. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the first thing is that rather than actually answer him, Emily opts to read a prepared statement. Very good job if you're trying to convince people that you're human. It does seem almost slightly combative. So like maybe the reading of the prepared statement is not too much of a surprise. She does mention in the prepared statement, which I will stress, a prepared statement was written by people at Hasbro to answer such questions. In the prepared statement, there is a list of territories given in which G.I. Joe Classified series will become exclusive to Hasbro Pulse, which means Hasbro Pulse will be the only way that you can purchase these items. It includes Australia in the list. Now, we don't. Yeah, see, Mikey's going crazy. We don't have Hasbro Pulse here yet, but it does seem very likely that we're about to get Hasbro Pulse, and the timing of that prepared statement appears to have slightly messed up the announcement of Hasbro Pulse coming to Australia, or at least coming to somewhere in the territory, because we have also heard that Pulse is coming to Asia next year, and it makes a lot of sense for Hasbro to start spreading their wings with Pulse outside of the US and the UK and Europe, especially if they're going to be running more crowdfunding campaigns through Haslab on Hasbro Pulse. Crowdfunding is kind of a shit show for them at the moment because the US and the UK backers, they give them the money within 5 weeks. Within 5 or 6 weeks of a campaign going up, it's funded and they've got the money. But if you're in Australia or around Asia, then you don't give Hasbro the money for that project until a year later when it ships. So if Hasbro can actually get Pulse running in these territories and start taking crowdfunding in those territories for it, it could be a really good thing for them.
So I listened to another podcast, American podcast, and they talk about all the time. An American podcast. Yeah, I know. I'm not faithful.
For shame.
Yeah, no, I'm not just faithful to this one podcast. And they're my mates in America, and they always talk about all of these, like how good it is that they've got Pulse, and we ordered this off Pulse, we got this, and it's so timely and it's great, and they all get what they ordered, and they pretty much never miss out on any figures because of Pulse. And
yeah, they have to pay to see it.
Yeah, exactly. But I've just looked at it. I'm just like, why is it only them? It's only them, and I think maybe Canada. And it's just really annoying that it always takes so much time for it to come over here or anywhere else other than America. And the thing that always pissed me off about Hasbro Pulse was it says it's Hasbro Pulse for the fans, and I'm just like, well,
For the fans, asterisk.
yeah, right, for the fans
quotes.
in these select regions. So the fact that they're starting to actually branch out, I'm happy. But this was the same thing as Netflix, right? We didn't get Netflix straight away. America had Netflix.
Oh,
You
mate,
know.
we didn't have Netflix for years.
Yeah, we didn't get Netflix. So they've been talking about like you'd be watching or you'd be talking to your American friends. Just like, oh yeah, I just caught this on Netflix, and we're just like, what the hell is Netflix?
Yes, no,
And now,
I believe some of Netflix's earliest series ended up on Foxtel in Australia.
there you go. So we had no idea what that was, and now we've got it. But again, we were late to the party. So I guess better late than never. But just hearing, I think basically they pay for a Pulse membership in America at least. I think it's $50 a year, and that will get you free shipping for that year on all your purchases. So if they can
Yeah.
possibly bring something like that here, I'd be very excited. I'd probably be like $100 for us, which is fine. But if they do something like that, like a membership, a Pulse membership, that'd be cool. I'm probably going to be corrected here by Jason, but yeah.
No. So the way that Hasbro Pulse operates, and it's probably worth us clarifying how this operates because, like, it seems like it's about to come to Australia. The way that Pulse operates is it is just an online store. You don't have to have a membership to shop there. But if you do have a membership, then when exclusive items go up, you get access to them before everyone else. So if there is an exclusive item that is going to be in really high demand, if you're on a Pulse Premium membership, you're more likely to be able to get it before supplies run out. It is really interesting. People have found hints in the site source code about just how much inventory Hasbro Pulse has for particular items, and it's not actually that much. Like for some items, it's a couple of thousand items, and so like you think about the number of people who probably order from Pulse across America. I mean, they're not always ordering the exclusive items. They might just be ordering general release items with no sort of inventory limit on them. But some of the exclusive items are quite limited, and the structure of what goes where is also quite interesting because Hasbro's had exclusive arrangements with particular retailers that they've been quite criticized for over the last few years. And what they've actually been able to do is pull some of that inventory from those exclusive retailers and sell it to people on Pulse. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that if there's a figure that's not going to come here, it doesn't necessarily mean it will be on Pulse and it will be available here because Pulse's inventory is region specific. There are things on Pulse US that are not on Pulse UK, and there are also things on Pulse UK that are not on Pulse US. So Pulse coming to Australia or being available to Australia does not necessarily mean that we'll get all of these exclusives or have access to all these things, but it also does seem like it can't hurt, right?
It'd just be interesting to see how it works here, you know. It'd just be nice to have what they have, basically, you know.
Even for like, sorry,
yeah.
Well, even for like the things that aren't, often the big exclusives, there's a lot of stuff just like, things like Generation Select or Marvel Legends multi-packs, this sort of stuff that gets like genuinely really difficult to find in Australia, and is for the most part readily accessible overseas. It's just that alone of just actually having access to this stuff is, I think, could just, it's just going to make it much easier to collect.
I think like I said, it's worth noting that having access to this stuff is really good. If we're going to get access to it, we'll find out. We'll find out in the fullness of time. I think they'll let the Deathsaurus campaign finish up because it would really muddy the waters if they were to launch Pulse in a new territory while Deathsaurus is being funded. I think they'll let whatever they've got going on Haslab at the moment. I think they'll let that go, and then sometime in the next few months, I would say, probably before the next Haslab stuff goes up, I think they'll set up this infrastructure and they'll get it going. So we will put a link to this YouTube video in the show notes. So like if you are listening to the podcast, have a listen. It's about the 17.5 minute mark. Some people listened to it and went, "Oh no, she meant to say Austria." Thing is, Austria is also in the list. So like they didn't accidentally say Austria instead of Australia. It's Austria and Australia.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, it's a pretty specific list, and as I said, it's a prepared statement that's been written by someone at Hasbro who has included the word Australia. Like this stuff doesn't happen by accident. So yeah, I think we're gonna get Hasbro Pulse.
Exciting.
We'll see how we go. Let's move on to the next story. We have seen over in the US that the Commander class Earthrise Skylynx is coming up for a reissue or a new run, as this story on TFW 2005 puts it. Now, I have to admit that I've seen this story pop up in a number of places, and I know that there's a lot of people who are actually really excited about getting a second run at Skylynx. I don't think anyone in Australia is actually excited for this because I think we all got Skylynx. Brad has his hand up.
You said in the pre-chat that this thing is everywhere in stores still. If you see one, buy it for me, please.
I will find you. I'll find you a Commander class Skylynx. It was everywhere. It even went to catch.com.au. I mean, like when Catch of the Day starts selling Transformers, you know they have too many of them, right? Australia has become the place where some stock goes to die. We have seen we appear to be the only place on the planet that has Shattered Glass Jetfire
in abundance.
They're everywhere. They're in every JB Hi-Fi store.
JB Hi-Fi. Okay.
Yeah. But the same thing for the buzzworthy Bumblebee Worlds Collide set. It's everywhere in Australia, and it's nowhere on the rest of the planet. We can't get Creatures Collide here, probably because we've still got too many Worlds Collide sets. But if you want Worlds, if anyone overseas wants Worlds Collide, like we're your guys. We can get it and we can sort it out and we can ship it to you. It's even cheap. So like, you know, call me, you know, we'll see how we go. So anyway,
I'll just say you two probably have the most well-stocked shops in all of Australia.
yeah, maybe.
But
I have seen Skylynx in stores in the last couple of months. Like it's this reissue. I'll be really surprised if this reissue actually reaches Australia because I'm pretty sure Hasbro Australia will just go, nah, take it away. We have too many of them. But like I said, people are very excited about it.
Oh, superb toy! Like if we're talking about the best Commander class figure, then it is the best Commander class figure. Yeah. It's so much bang for your buck. You get it's huge as well. Like it just ticks all the boxes for a Commander class toy. Except it doesn't work. But
Brad, you've got a buddy in Rob who's kicking himself for passing on this version of Skylynx. So I'd say that Rob will be there for Skylynx as well. Dave also says that he does have a graveyard shelf.
The predecessor wasn't too good. That Voyager Combiner Wars Titans Return.
Oh, you mean the previous Skylynx?
The previous Skylynx was not. It was okay as long as you didn't touch it. And then here we go.
It's the same with most combiners.
Yeah. But
when you said the predecessor, I thought you were talking about Commander class Jetfire. Like I've got him like holding up in my like tiny corner of the screen here. But like as far as
show
Commander
me his
class
links mode.
as far as Commander class figures go, like I think the range has been fantastic. But of course, we very famously didn't seem to get Jetfire here. This is also the second Commander class reissue this year because Jetfire also got a reissue, which also didn't come to Australia. That's why I don't think Skylynx will be coming to Australia.
Oh, great. 2 figures I didn't get.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Mark, I may have it in my cupboard. I'll have a look in the morning and see if it's there. If it's there, you can have it.
Sorry, you said to Mark. Mark said he liked Combiner Wars Skylynx, or are you talking about Mark's comment about the Nemesis Prime?
No, I thought he missed Combiner Wars Skylynx. I don't know how I missed.
I think Mark likes Skylynx.
He likes it. Okay.
That's fine. I mean, the combiners were all kind of a little bit samey, you know. Voyager.
Well,
Tulsa
it was
things.
different. It went out for something different and just failed on most of the.
I think what you're saying is it failed in excitingly different ways to the rest of the combiners.
Yeah, it wasn't the
Fair.
fifth
Yep.
swindle repaint into Dead End or whatever.
Fair enough. Let's move on to something else.
That I've
By
added
some-
without
by
you
some-
knowing.
By something else. No, I'm trying to balance a couple of things up here. There is one story that I didn't add. Sorry, but that's fine because we are at 55 minutes already. The other big news this week is that we've gotten a first look at what appears likely to be a Studio Series Deluxe Air Razor from Rise of the Beasts. This is definitely a new Air Razor mold. She's got a very, very different transformation, very different parts to the Kingdom Air Razor from last year, and I think this is one of the first figures to leak in recent times where everyone's looked at it and just gone, "Yeah, that's pretty good."
Well, it's the first like proper. I guess we have had looks at the general design language and aesthetic of the Rise of a Beast characters, like little glimpses between a couple of leaked toys and then the renders of Prime and Bumblebee. But this is probably, in terms of new characters, this is the best look we've got on any of them.
I agree.
And
There is
finally,
oh, go on.
and finally, a Bayverse bot that looks pretty close to its original origin.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. So I've been told that there's going to be a lot more Beast Wars characters than we've heard in Rise of the Beasts, and I wonder if we might see a lot of characters on screen, but maybe they don't all have voices or voice actors attributed to them. Like, I've heard there'll be a lot of them.
Well, because the named characters that they have, cast for are, that little group of Autobots, little group of Maximals, and this little group of Terracons. But in a couple of the press releases, they've explicitly said, in the initial press release, they said like, "Oh, we're adding the Maximals and Predacons and the Terracons in to the Autobot and Decepticon War." And then in the later interview, Stephen Cable Jr. described said, there are Decepticons in this movie and there are Predacons in this movie.
Oh, when did that happen?
I could not find it for you. I went straight through a bunch of old stories on it, but he has said that yes, they are. These different factions are present in the movie.
Good.
But I would have to assume it might be something like here's the war between a flashback to the Autobot Decepticon War, and then here's the Maximal Predacon War, and now we're going to move on to a plot of this of what this movie's about.
Well, I'm going to take your word for that.
I'll be very surprised if there was not a 5-minute sequence in this movie showing these guys again.
Hang on a sec.
On screen.
Hang on, hold it up. I'm going to just press your button there.
Well, I'm
there we
sore. Showing them guys on screen again. Because they've got the molds, they can do it. They can repaint them for Beast Wars 2 Electric Boogaloo.
As we know, the scene that we all love so much in the Bumblebee movie, which is the starting scene where they're on Cybertron, we know that was hastily done and that was quickly put together. So
they got
now they've got exactly. Imagine what they can do when they've got time. How beautiful this thing, can turn out to be, and these scenes can turn out to be. So, I'm beyond excited to see this. I'm really looking forward to this movie, and I'm the fact that this figure looks recognizably like Air Razor in both modes. The characteristics of Air Razor has the eagle head on the chest, and the head's very evocative of that character, and it's just it's not like past movies where they just slap a name on a robot that looks like crumpled up tinfoil and called it a transformer. this actually looks like and I like those movies. I'm not saying I don't like them, but this looks like an air razor that I would see in the Michael Bay or Stephen Cavill Jr. Night universe, and it's exciting.
Unfortunately, we can't get too excited because it's probably voiced by Jennifer Lopez. Jason, there's a link.
No. She's voiced by Michelle Yeoh.
Okay. Jason, if you
the sound of Brad's head slowly exploding.
I only see her visually, not voice acting, but
yeah. I'm not sure that I've ever heard Michelle Yeoh do a voice acting role. But that's the voice actress for.
But it's an iconic voice, so you're going to hear it. You're going to know exactly who it is.
Brad,
there's another link next, Jason, of Primal. We don't have to go into it too far. It's only stupid flip changes, but
that's the one that I didn't quite put up. But give me a second because I can very quickly go bang and we're there. So the official Hasbro toy descriptions for some of the basic level figures. But
if you bring up that photo, just going off Air Razor, how good she looks. It looks like a Beast Wars Air Razor. That's got all the same design elements of Beast Wars Primal. Of course, the figure itself's not going to be
no, you're right, but it's recognizable, isn't
it? Yeah. So there's some interesting things going on into Rise of the Beasts, character design wise. Let's wait until it comes out or we see a trailer before we comment on how good that's going to translate to the screen. But
hey, Brad.
Yes.
Do you know who voices Mirage?
Which one?
As in the Mirage from this movie?
Rise of the Beasts.
Rise of the Beast Mirage.
The Porsche.
Yeah.
Is that the comedian that was announced with Michelle Yeoh?
Yes.
Pete Davidson, yes.
I've heard some. I don't know him personally. Of course, I don't know him personally. I have no.
Sorry, are you sure? I thought I saw that you were Facebook buddies.
I've only. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I think it's SNL or something, and I've heard he's not funny. So it could be another.
I gotta be honest when it comes to the casting of Pete Davidson, like I kind of don't care. Like people are letting their personal taste on his humor and his his lifestyle and things that he's done and who he dates or whatever. People are letting that cloud the judgment on whether or not they think that he should be involved in Transformers. Ultimately, he's a voice actor who turns up to do a role. Like it's not like he's writing his own material or anything like that. And so if that's the person that they've decided they want to have voice Mirage, then that's who's voicing Mirage.
And Dave puts it well. Dave puts it well. As long as they do a good job, who cares who they are?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They're reading a script. If there's going to be some ad libs in there, being a comedian, there probably will be. Whether that's pulled back or not, it doesn't really matter. I'm sure Peter Cullen's getting paid $50 million to say 15 lines in this movie.
It's probably about right. Mark says, "What? You don't think Mirage will do a stand-up show mid-film?"
He just roasts like a Predacon or something.
Yeah.
He just goes into a John Cena routine. You can't see me.
Well, if it was still Michael Bay, then maybe.
Welcome to the Comedy Central roast of Terracons. But yes.
Yeah.
Terra. Nothing terrible about them.
Tara, I barely knew her. Thank you. Call me Hasbro.
Waffle Bell, where is it?
One last the Waffle Bell.
I nearly grabbed it.
I thought the Waffle Bell was out of service. You should have rung it 20 minutes ago.
It's sitting on the bench in the house.
Fair enough. Last news story for the evening before we get into some acquisitions and bring the show to a close. We did have the amusing moment earlier in production where I had not realized that Brad had joined the call, and I was considering throwing out the story about the statues, only to realize these aren't necessarily statues. These are 30 MDLX figures that we're looking at. There's a G1 Rodimus Prime and a Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, who continues to look like a pile of twisted scrap metal. I'm sorry. However, 3.0 does have a good reputation for these figures. We've seen a few people. We've seen a few people who actually do own these figures.
Actually, looks really good.
The MDLXs are pretty good. This is, as it says on screen, it's
These are
11.2
two
inches
different
tall.
lines. Is the thing so?
Yeah, so this
Megatron
is DLX. So this is 11.2 inches tall, and when we bring up the Rodimus, he's the MDLX line, which I think is a little bit smaller.
They're
that fit with their
about the same
Bumblebee?
size as like average figure arts figure. Yeah, that like
They did a
I don't know
Bumblebee that
what's-
was like
yeah.
that big, right?
Yeah, I don't know
think
what
so, yeah.
scale you'd call it, but it's like the size of a 1/12 human action figure.
Well, now you spent the time on. I didn't add this to talk about the Megatron. Obviously, what is it going to take to get Jason to buy a statue? Is it Rodimus Prime with the pins, the characters? My
I'm
God!
just going to put myself up.
My God.
full screen. I don't know what you're talking about, Brad. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What will it
twisting.
take to make me buy a statue?
That thing is immensely impressive in person. Like it is
That looks hefty
so
too.
impressive in
It
like
is-
that
it
is
is-
like
It
amazing.
is very hefty. Like, so for
Oh.
people listening on audio, this is I've got in my hands the Ultimetal S Rodimus Prime, which I think I brought the box up in the acquisitions stuff last episode. I have since opened it. Mike and I do a show on YouTube with a couple of other people in TCCA called Toy Reel, and so we unboxed this guy live on the Toy Reel stream a couple of weeks ago. Extremely impressive, like massive amounts of die-cast metal. Like there's the bits on the wings on this spoiler move around and things wiggle around. It's fantastic. So I'm very very very
and his
happy
best
with it.
feature, you can not really transform him, but you can parts form him from hot rod to Rodimus mode, which is really cool.
That's true. That's true. So to the question of what's it going to take to make me buy this, I don't know. Let me kick myself back out of the solo screen. So we are looking at the 3.0 MDLX Rodimus Prime now, and so as you were saying, this is a smaller figure. So this is more probably like a maybe a deluxe scale figure, or maybe more of a Voyager or a Leader. I'm not sure.
They're like, so you know how big like a SH figure
Oh,
arts is.
He's actually 7
Like,
inches tall, so he's about the size of a Voyager figure.
He's so tiny.
He's so tiny. He's so tiny, but very detailed.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
So, and he's got a price attached to him of I don't know what, because I need to click through to the website where he's listed. So, let me have a look. MDLX Rodimus Prime is listed on Amazon UK for I don't know what, because it didn't show me. So I'm just going to press the
It'd be
back
twice
button.
as much anyway.
Maybe. Let's have a look at
You're
Dorkside
on the one-
Toys.
We're at 150.
It's only
200.
it's 80 USD. Those last couple of links don't work.
Fantastic. Like, why would they work? Yeah. So $80 US. So yeah, maybe sort of, $130, $150 once you import it. He is die cast, so he's a bit heavy, and for his size, he's 18 centimeters, 46 points of articulation. So
superhero
quite
landing.
detailed. I mean, yeah, no, look. There is, if I scroll through this, I'm sure there's a super.
Oh, there will be. Where is it?
somewhere, right?
So Jason, the question is, how many are you getting?
Well, he needs one to cut the shins off to be a hot rod, obviously.
do you know what though? Like, here's the thing, right? I've just bought the Ultimetal Rodimus. The Ultimetal Galvatron is on its way, because I really liked this Rodimus. The Ultimetal Galvatron is on its way. The Flame Toys Kuro Karakuri IDW Hot Rod is on its way.
Oh God.
He's been converted. He's seen the light.
do you just hear Brad laughing in the background? Brad, this is the greatest episode of Brad's life.
Oh, wow.
Well, he's played the long game. It's like
I know.
a
Oh, yeah,
psychology
yeah.
where he's
6 years.
all he had to do was wait, and he's cracked you.
You've played you've played the long game. All that had to happen was there needed to be a perfect storm of hot rods, and suddenly I've opened my wallet.
They've really cornered you, haven't they? They've just figured
Jason
out.
clearly
They've
has a type.
really figured me out.
All those
that's
run
ridiculous.
sheets are throwing in Rodimus pins and Rodimus masks and everything else, and now we finally got you to the statue.
It all comes down to this.
Jason only gets his Rodimus mask out on special occasions.
It's you know what? I don't even know why that sounds creepy, but it sounds creepy. So yeah.
It's the Rodimai.
Oh, that was intense.
What am I? So on that bombshell, that is the final news story of the night, and we are left dealing with. Actually, you know what we've been at this for an hour and 10 minutes. I did say that we'd talk about Transformers Earthspark. I think Earthspark can be a longer discussion later, so I think maybe we might talk about that next week, unless anyone really wants to have a chat about it.
I liked it. That's all I'm going to say.
It's quite good.
So the first episode aired on Nickelodeon UK a couple of days ago.
We're talking about it. We're going.
Yeah, no. I'm just going to say the first episode aired a couple of days ago. It's been available if you know the right place to look. You can download a rip of it. Maybe we might wait until it's a little bit wider available for people. The first 2 episodes I think are going up on Paramount Plus in the US today. And I think, in fact, I'm not sure if it's the first 2 episodes. I heard it's the first 10, and so they should be a little bit wider available via other means in the next few days. And we get the first 2 episodes on Paramount Plus at the end of the month in Australia. So I think we might hold the Earthspark discussion, and we might wait and see what happens over the course of the week in terms of people getting access to the show. Shall we?
Yeah, give others a chance to have a look at it and then comment.
I just love, we're just like, oh, we're not going to talk about it. And Max is like,
We're straight into it.
The kids are annoying. I'm just like, they're the main protagonists. You're going to see a lot more of them.
But I said that as a joke to lead into. Otherwise, it's very promising. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
there's. I won't.
The 30-second version of it for me is that I thought some of the writing was a little bit obvious first episode. There's an odd cliffhanger that if you've watched any of the pre-release materials, you know how it resolves. And it's a multi-part opening story, and only the first episode's out. So fair enough. I thought some of the writing was a little bit clunky, but I'm sure they'll improve.
I will say the cliffhanger
and it was a lot of fun.
Bizarre. The cliffhanger was bizarre.
I didn't mind just because it was so just nicely executed, just the music and everything. It was just
it was good, but everyone knows what's going to happen next because of their
it's just fun. It's just fun to watch. It's just all it is.
Cool.
All right.
Didn't mind animation. I've seen some of the animation before from other series. I think we've talked before about the crossovers there. One bot in particular at the start pretty much picked it what it was before they said what its name was. Prime was interesting. My bigger thing is, okay, it's on Nickelodeon. How widespread is Nickelodeon in Australia for kids to see? Because I'm pretty sure it's only Oz.
It's a valid question. Yeah,
Foxtel at the moment. So again, you're limiting yourself to one streaming / cable service here, and then I'm not. There are toys on the shelves at the moment, so. Yeah, but we'll come back and talk about it once we get a few episodes out and everyone else has got a chance to see it.
Yeah. I think we'll let everyone have a chance to see it so that they can so that people can also participate in the comments.
Prime dies again,
spoiling them. So that's why they paid Alan Tudyk that much money to do Prime.
For that one
Prime
episode.
Cliffjumper. It's Prime Cliffjumper. Right?
Oh, I forgot it was him.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Didn't notice it. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I think we're done with the Earthspark tease. I think we can talk about Earthspark more on a future episode. We might even do a dedicated episode for it. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
What have we got by way of acquisitions, Brad? I know you've got some. I know you've got some bots. Do you want to go up first?
I've got a few. I'll get through this quick. So, Bumblebee movie, love it, hate it, whatever you think. Of course, as Mikey brought up earlier, that first minute and a half. I don't think it's 5 minutes.
No, I did want to say at the time, like the most amazing part about the Bumblebee movie is the fact that everyone thinks the Cybertron scene goes for about 10 minutes when it's actually 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
it's like 3 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ending.
That's how good it is.
You jumped in
Go on.
too early, Mikey. Those that love Bumblebee because of that, shame on you. The same as people that love Rogue One because of Darth Vader in the last 35 seconds, shame on you. Anyway, that first minute and 10 seconds.
He's right, but he shouldn't say it.
Yeah, he's out of line, but he's right.
The first 2.5 minutes, whether you like the rest of the movie or not, you cannot disagree that those bot designs are fantastic and how maybe the live action bot should have been. Wanted to get them, missed this Soundwave and all the others and thought that was it. Started seeing a couple others in store and thinking, well, if I don't get the big boy, I'm probably not going to get the line. But anyway, according to Jason, Soundwave was reissued and it turned back up in Kmart, and I found it. There was a couple in there. Thought beauty. Let's do the Bumblebee Cybertron line. So he was in there. Went to my local Target because it still exists. RC was in there. RC's
Mate,
great.
I have a local Target as well, but it's the only one for about 20 miles.
Ironhide, just love the bit of a design choice between him and Ratchet being a little bit more Cybertronian. It's the age-old debate, why do Cybertronian vehicle modes need cockpits, doors, windows, all that sort of thing, but that's not for discussion tonight. Where's that one? Oh, yeah. And then Wheeljack got last weekend. You won't find. I'm not going to buy.
I do remember us talking about these, and I was saying like go look at your local Kmart and Target because they should be in stock there. So that's good. I'm really glad you got them.
Yeah, well, at Target, RC, Cliff Jump.
Still not sure what that story is.
Ironhide and Wheeljack were there. I didn't buy Wheeljack. I got RC and Ironhide when the following weekend Wheeljack was not there. 3 weeks later, Wheeljack turned up in Kmart, so I was able to get him. So getting most of that Cybertronian B line. The other one is this big black grey monkey here.
Oh, look at that.
Comparing to the...
Do you remember when this was announced and we were like, oh, what about the Studio Series version? And it's like, so is that the 07 version that you've got in your right hand there? Or
this is the 07 Voyager Blackout.
Right. Okay, absolutely dwarfs it. Look at it. He's massive.
Massive compared to it. That's where the love may end. Because we never display our bots upside down, of course, but that being's pretty much enclosed underneath. That having big old gaps. She's a big old gap bot. Couldn't even get a Scorponok under here because this is the ... Grindor, not Blackout. It's Blackout.
Oh, sorry. Is that the MPM version or is that actually the new leader? So is this MPM?
It's not the movie
Studio?
masterpiece.
Okay, so this is Studio Series leader class.
It's been Kmart for 6 years and been on special and ended up getting it for $69.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually Blackout.
And it's Grindor.
Okay. Right. So
Grindor and
Ravage.
Yeah.
Grindor and Ravage. Yeah.
That's cool. Sorry, I was confused. I thought this was the MPM, the movie masterpiece version.
No, that's much bigger.
Even this is
because that's $500 dearer. No, because we talked about this when that was revealed that if you get this for cheaper, articulation that didn't look too much different, Even between that and the original 07 bot mode, apart from articulation, you still got a lot of the same detail in there, and it's still a good looking bot. The heads are the same, just scale different. Even this,
Yeah, wow.
It's nice having big old Sea King helicopter in the display, but I'm glad I didn't buy the Movie Masterpiece one. But
fair enough too.
Yeah, but I got the jet plane, both alt modes for scatter and drop kick up in the display now. So move them Bumblebee bots there. So I think I've just got to get the original B127. I know he said FN217.
B127 is around. Yep.
B127, FN217. Coincidence. Yeah. So I just got to get. I just got to get that, and yeah, that will be most of the yeah, that'll be most of the that Bumblebee movie figures sorted.
Yeah, fantastic. Nicely done. Right, Max and Mikey, do you guys have any acquisitions as well? Because you guys didn't fill anything in the run sheet.
I've got one that'll take all of 5 seconds.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark.
Because it just arrived today, and I just got home from work, so I haven't opened it. But the Velocitron Scourge from Zing.
Oh, I've got that as well.
A few months back, this went up for $60. Yeah, $60, which is as much as I was willing to pay for it. So that worked out all right. And then obviously it was a pricing error. They bumped the price up. I've heard from people going in to visit stores that there's been a bit of pushback for click and collect and having to pay the full, and people then being asked to pay the full price. So I guess if you order it shipped to your door, or if you did order it shipped to your door rather, then they will just charge you for the original $60.
Yeah,
which is quite a nice deal, because from the looks of things, it's a good looking Voyager leadery class thing and a big slab of plastic on the back, but doesn't seem to do much interesting. So I think I can happily ignore that. And for $60, it seems reasonable.
$60 is an excellent price for a leader class figure. Bearing in mind that this was $79, which was a welcome discount from the sort of the 90 to 100 that we usually see for leader classes. It was $79 at Kmart. Zing's official price is $110. So everyone who ordered it at $60, they're trying to get them to cough up an extra $50. They tried with me. I'm gonna put myself up now because I'll segue into my things. They tried with me, and I showed them the order that said I've paid $60 and there's nothing left. And the store manager looked at my order history and went, okay, look, I can see that whenever you order stuff, you do pay full price instead of putting a deposit down. So I'm going to assume that was a pricing error, and off you go. Same thing applied to Ironhide, which managed to get to $45 due to a pricing error from them on their website as well. So very happy with that. Couple of other acquisitions to get through quickly. I've got a core class wheelie because why not? Had to get a core class wheelie in order to justify getting this guy, which is legitimately of interest to people, which is the core class 86 Rumble. Also specifically known as Rumble Blue. He does say Rumble bracket blue on the box. He's a nice figure. He doesn't have elbows, and I'm a little bit surprised that the pile drivers don't actually move. There's been a little bit of interest from the local community in creating new pile drivers for him that actually move. I'll be interested to see how that goes. But he is a nice update to the the sort of the core cassette.
It's a great looking frenzy.
Yes, very good. Rob also says, it's frenzy as well. I do have a couple of other.
It's actually Rumble bracket blue is a different character entirely. So that's the third guy.
No, they'll release Frenzy bracket red, but this also means that they can now release Frenzy bracket blue and Rumble bracket red as well. Couple of other acquisitions to get through. Obviously, I haven't opened all of these yet. There is the GI Joe Stalker Bumblebee. Really looking forward to opening this guy up. He's said to be a lot better than Megatron. The Megatron figure was said to be a little bit hollow. I didn't mind it myself, but they're saying that people are saying that the Bumblebee Stalker is he's an striker, and he comes with a character named Stalker because I don't understand GI Joe. And there's one other thing that I haven't opened up yet. I will open up soon. And for people who are into the Unicron trilogy, you might recognize this figure. This is the black repaint of Rodimus.
That's nice.
We've talked. What?
It's not gold.
It is.
That is a pull. That is a deep dive, Jason.
That is a deep dive. We have talked about the Rodimus from, I think it's from Energon before, and I'm oddly fond. Yeah, I'm oddly fond of that Rodimus. So when the chance to purchase the black repaint, which is limited somehow, I'm not really sure. Not really sure how its distribution was limited, but it is quite limited. Looks fantastic, and it's still sealed.
It's limited to 1 per Jason.
Really? Oh, that's disappointing.
It's really strong on that.
I'd like to correct you.
I'd like to correct you. I've purchased a second one.
It was a
this was purchased from a friend of ours too, Mikey. So yeah,
Fair enough.
So yeah, I'm really excited about sorry, I'm really excited about opening up that Rodimus, that black Rodimus, and getting a look at him next to the original. I've also actually since realized that I think they used that Rodimus mold as a Thunderclash in a BotCon set as well.
Yep, you're right. Oh,
I think they did. I think it was in the Wings of Glory set,
maybe.
and I think I've got it. So
You should know that then.
I know I've got the Wings of Glory set, but if it is the Wings of Glory set, then it means I've got.
Yeah, no, it sounds familiar.
I'll have to get them out and see how we go. So yes, going to be looking forward to opening up that Black Rodimus and the other acquisitions which I clearly haven't opened yet as well.
Just quickly before we leave acquisitions. Couple of comments in there. No, it's not the Wei Jing one. As we said, it's the Studio Series Grindor, but I'll call it Blackout. And it was on clearance for $79, but my wife's got a Coles card that 10% off, so it was dropped to $69. And that's how it was $69.
Yeah. Someone did ask if you've got the Wei Jing version of Blackout, and I didn't think that you had it, so I didn't.
Jason.
Ask, but yeah.
Did you want to talk about the Jabi Hiffy thing? Jabi Hi-Fi.
Yeah, you know what? Let's you know what? Do you know what? Actually, you've reminded me. If I scroll far enough up the run sheet, I actually didn't talk about local releases and overseas releases. So let's cover them off very, very quickly. Things that have been released locally, you can find Shattered Glass Soundwave at JB Hi-Fi and at Zing, I think.
For $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million. If you do walk into those stores expecting to find him, do be prepared to hold your wallet and caress it to ease its pain, because he is well over $115, $120 for a Voyager plus 2 Micromasters. But it's Shattered Glass Soundwave. It's gonna sell. It's a popular character. The GI Joe Stalker Bumblebee that I just showed is at JB Hi-Fi and it's at Zing. Legacy Wave 3 Deluxes are making their way out to some stores now. We have seen a trickle of them over the last month, but I think you're going to start seeing them at stores like EB and Zing and JB Hi-Fi in earnest. Also, I've noticed that a website called The Gamesman is doing very well with local releases of these figures as well. So you can order these guys from The Gamesman as well. The new Studio Series Wave that has Crosshairs, Hot Rod, 86 Ironhide, and The Fallen is also out locally as well. And Legacy Bombburst, core class figure, seems to have popped up readily available to ship on Amazon Australia. not really sure where Bombburst fits into everything, but if you're into the core figures, and he is another sort of core rendition of a popular pretender figure like Iguanus earlier in the year. Iguanus, very, very well regarded core figure. A lot of people really like him, so I think a lot of people will be getting Bombburst to go with him. And if we do quickly look at overseas releases, that same Studio Series wave has been released. However, it also contains core class figures like 86 Rumble, which I've got here, Dark of the Moon Laserbeak, and a repack of 86 Wheelie, which is why I've also got that here. And there's also Shatterglass Slicer and Flame War available overseas now. Those are in the USA. Those two haven't made it out for Asian release yet, but they will be this month and next month. Those two are not coming to Australia, we're told. So if you are looking for Slicer and Flame War, you are going to have to import them. But there's plenty of stores that will sell them to you and post them to Australia. That is it. You mentioned the JB Hi-Fi news. So JB Hi-Fi has launched a membership service called Perks, and it's free to join. I'm just gonna bring it up on their website now. It's free to join now. Mikey, you've joined up to this today. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what it entails?
Yeah. So I believe it was posted in our group chat that we have for this podcast, and I'm just like, that seems interesting. $10 off, that'd be nice. So I basically followed the link to this page. All I think I had to do was enter my email and find out if I was a member of JB Hi-Fi, whereas if you have purchased something online with them before, then you are.
In the last 20 years, they still have your data.
They do. They have something that I purchased
just like Optus.
Quite some time
and everyone else.
So yeah, and then you just basically sign up. There's no fee or anything, and then straight away in my inbox, I got a $10 coupon to be spent either online or in store. And you also enter your birth month, so you don't actually have to enter your exact birthday. So someone who's got their birthday coming up soon, enter this month and see if you get the code or whatever you get. I'm not entirely sure what you get, maybe like 10% off or something. But you do get birthday perks. And yeah, I just think it's really cool. So to begin with, you get your $10 off. So you, again, in-store or online.
So you got a $10 discount on Shatterglass Soundwave?
Yeah, no, I think I'll be finding my Soundwave elsewhere. I don't think I'm going to be paying over $100 for a $50 figure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I will just mention that over the weekend the Gamesman had a discount on their eBay store. This is last weekend. You could get I say this grudgingly because I fucking hate these services. If you used Afterpay, you could get 25% off the toys on the Gamesman store. If you don't use Afterpay, you get 20%. If you don't use Afterpay, you can get 20% off. I dislike the fact that I'm penalised for giving them all of my money up front, but whatever. So yeah, so there have been discounts available for this figure. So I think I ordered one from Gamesman for about $95, I think, or maybe 94 or something. But yeah. So happy to do this because as we know, or as I know from my shopping, JB Hi-Fi is slowly becoming the best place to find Transformers and Marvel Legends and DC and Star Wars action figures. A lot of exclusive items coming to JB Hi-Fi, including the Shatterglass Jetfire, which apparently you can't get anywhere else in the world. There are plenty of. It's a world exclusive to JB.
Worldwide exclusive.
Yeah. So you go into JB again because they're slowly shifting away from DVDs and CDs and all that, and they're just trying to stay alive. They're doing their best with They're doing their best with toys and stuff. And I found some really cool items. I love going to JB Hi-Fi's now because you just find new cool stuff every time. The only place to get your G.I. Joe exclusive Transformers. Again, all your Shatterglass, most of your Shatterglass stuff, except for those two annoying last two pieces which aren't coming here, which sucks. What else? They restock old figures. Like I know it's the only place that I've found the Legacy Soundwave is at JB Hi-Fi. That's the only place I found that one.
Has been spotted at Zing as well, but you're right. That one's been a little bit scarce on shelves.
Yeah, that's the only place that I've found it personally.
Legacy Soundwave, the Voyager.
The Voyager, so the Cybertronian one without the Gribble on it.
Oh.
So yeah, like I think everyone should sign up to this because firstly, $10, great, to spend any way you want, and then
Everyone, please sign up and bankrupt JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah, basically. And they say they'll keep you up to date with deals and stuff, which should include toys most of the time. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Will J-Mart be making an account?
Did at some point did you walk into the store and look at all of the Transformers and just go, JB, you've done it again?
Yes, and then slowly after that I was arrested. So yeah.
Was it for throwing a hammer through a window?
JB, you've done it again. Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm just really happy with JB. So I think this is a really good incentive for people. I threw the Lego hammer through the window, so it didn't really go through the window. It just broke.
It just bounced off the window, and the security guard arrested you.
Dang it!
All right. Thank you for mentioning that because I did mean to bring it up, but I forgot. So yeah,
put it in the run sheet, and you read straight past it.
It's I don't think I actually did put it in the run sheet. So yeah. Look, that does us for the night. We've had a good fun time. So thank you everyone for listening along with us. Thank you for listening if you're listening to the recorded episode. Thank you everyone for coming along and commenting on the live record for us. We do appreciate it. A reminder that if you are listening to us on a podcast, you can watch us. I don't know if you really want to. You can watch us and you can see what we're talking about via our YouTube channel. That's YouTube. I'm not going to read it out, but you can find us at Transformers Collectors Club Australia on YouTube. You can find out more about these stories and more with links to them all and more in our show notes. We do love listener feedback. People don't give us that much listener feedback. We get live comments. It's lovely, and we love you all. You can find us all in the Transformers Collectors Club Australia group on Facebook. And if you're not already subscribed, you can find the podcast in your podcatcher of choice. I think that's about it. We've been going for long enough. I'm not going to read the boilerplate. It is the end of the show. We will be back. It's all from us. We'll be back with more Transformers news soon. It might be next week. We'll see how we go. Does anyone have anything that we need to add before we bring the show to a close?
We'll at least get one in before Christmas.
Yes, we definitely.
It's only 6 weeks, so
yeah.
Oh no. Jesus.
It is 6 weeks before Christmas. Mariah Carey has been thawed out from her cold storage, and she is getting ready to take the stage, and her songs have been put back into rotation.
My favorite Mariah Carey meme is that thing of Rita Repulsa emerging from her tomb. It's just like
10,000 years, I'm free.
I've returned after 10,000 years to spread Christmas joy. So yeah, dear God, we get too much of that woman. But anyway,
I think it's a self-fulfilling cycle. It's like everyone jokes about how much it gets played every year, so then it just gets played more and more and more. So you're thinking about it more and more and more, so it gets played more. And it's just
it sounds like the trap that Sony fell into in re-releasing Morbius.
Oh,
I love that.
Wow.
Oh no!
What?
Conflicting opinions. Oh,
no. I love that. There was this thing. It's just how they released Morbius again, and then there was this meme which is like, "Oh, sorry, we were all away that weekend. Can you release it again? We'll promise we'll come and see it.
We promise we'll go and see it this time." Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
All right.
What's the chance it's going to be an Infinity War or Endgame re-release before Avatar 2 comes out in December?
Maybe they'll be dueling for the top spot. Yeah.
Dueling
I expect an Avatar re-release more than anything else, but yeah.
Yeah, Avatar.
It's already out. It's out now.
Yeah. All right. That is it, everyone. Thank you very much. Yeah. We'll talk about things that might include more Transformers or Avatar next week. Next week, hopefully, we'll see how we go. Thank you very much for watching along with us, and thank you for listening to us on your podcatcher of choice. Thank you very much, and goodbye for now.
See you guys.
Take it easy.
Bye.